it's me, Alex. Today I am going to do a video that I kind of thought of when I was doing my last anti-haul video, and that is a video on 5 palettes that I only want part of them. So basically, I've been thinking about this phenomenon that's been happening of basically every eyeshadow palette that is being released that is just kind of like neutrals, but with a little pop of color, like 4 shades that are colorful, and how I only want the colorful shades. And I think a lot of people who might follow my channel and kind of live in this area of YouTube might feel the same way. And so there are 5 palettes that I've listed here that I only want part of, and I'm gonna go in and explain why. So I'm just gonna get started. The palette that gave me this idea was the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. What a surprise, right? This $100 million eyeshadow palette that is 2 rows of neutrals, but 1 really beautiful row of purple and blue and green. I mentioned this in my anti-haul, but that is really the only row that I want. I'm not gonna spend all of that money for one of her palettes just so that I could only use 1 row. However, it is one of those things that if she did release that 1 row in like one of her little 5-pan quads that she does, I would be really happy, because I think that is just like so beautiful, and I would want something like that with maybe like neutral transition shade and then like a brow bone highlight, and have that as a palette, you know, and just have an entire palette. Like the Tarte April Fool's palette. I would love to actually have something like that exist. And I think if she had made the Tropic palette with just those shades with a little like transition and brow bone shade, I think that could be something really valuable and would be a lot like the Tarte April Fool's palette. You know, the one that totally no one would ever buy. Except for me, of course. But yeah, that's something that I only kind of want part of it, but I would like to just buy a few singles and get my fix in of that. So yeah, that's the first one that I only want part of. The next product that I only want part of is the Urban Decay Backtalk palette. And no, it is not because only certain shades appeal to me. I actually think that like the eyeshadow side, it's pretty, but it's not my thing, but I really would love to have the face palette side of this. Now I have 1 blush from Urban Decay, and that is Rapture, and I absolutely love the formula. To me, that is like my perfect blush formula. It is just pigmented enough and just smooth enough that it all works out really great. So I would love to have a face palette from Urban Decay where that formula is basically the same. And that's kind of what I know is from the blush side of the Afterglow palette. And I think if I had something like that, like a nice little quad of Urban Decay blushes, I really wouldn't need that many other blushes. If you look at my face, I'm not exactly the most bold when it comes to my blush, but I think that one gives like 4 different really nice options, from very like neutral light to a little bit deeper if you want to feel more dramatic. So I wish they would just release that side on its own. The next 2 products are from the same brand, and you can guess it. You can guess what that brand is, because what brand is it that just continually puts out ridiculously large eyeshadow palettes that, you know, nobody asked for that many shadows, and yet here we are. Did you have your guess? Is it in your head? It's Morphe. Morphe. The first one is one that I mentioned in products that I want even though I know I shouldn't, and that is the Morphe 3502 palette. And I knew that I shouldn't want that even though I know that I do, because the only part that I want of it is that one tiny little corner of all of the bright oranges and reds. If you look at my face right now, you will know that I love a good orange and red eyeshadow. Instead, I think I'll do exactly like I want to do with the Natasha Denona palette and just get a couple singles, because I would not use the majority of the rest of that palette. But you know what? If I had like a bright neon orange, I could get so many cute looks out of it, and I love bright reds and all of that, so I think it would look like super duper cute if I had anything like that. But you know, I don't need the entire thing. I just want the tiny little bit. And the other product from Morphe that I only want part of is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. I got to see this palette in person a few weeks ago when I went into Ulta, and I was really drawn in. I did not think that I would be drawn in by this palette once I saw it in person. I thought, you know, it would be just like it is online, just kind of, whatever, you know, neutrals with a little corner of color. But it was actually really pretty, and I don't hate Morphe shadows, so I would still probably use it. But again, I would still probably only use that colorful little corner with like maybe a transition shade and like a brow bone shade. I don't think I would be getting good use out of all of that. And quite frankly, I feel as though if I got the singles to dupe the Natasha Denona colors that I want and the 3502 colors that I want, then I would basically kind of have all of the colors that I would want out of the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. Like, it's beautiful, but it's also ridiculously huge, and I don't need that. And quite frankly, I feel as though, aside from that little corner, if I were ever to attempt to use the whole thing of it, I would just set it down on my bed, getting ready to do my makeup, and just like completely freeze out of the sheer number of options that there were. And I don't want to be stressed out when I go to do my makeup. Makeup is supposed to be a relaxing process, and having that many colors in front of me would not be relaxing. It might be good ideally when you're first looking at it, oh, I have a variety, and then you actually get it into practice and you're just like, I have a variety. And it's terrifying, and I probably would freeze up every time I did my makeup, and I wouldn't get the use out of it that I think a lot of other people would. So that is why I only want part of it. And the last product that I only want part of is the BH Cosmetics and ItsMyRayeRaye palette. Now, I think it looks super gorgeous, and I follow her on YouTube, and I think she's gorgeous, and she does such good quality content and all of that, and so I was really happy that BH Cosmetics kind of picked her up as someone to collab with, because BH Cosmetics is really affordable, and I think her palette is right up her brand, so it's really nice. However, I would only want the eyeshadow part of this palette, not because I don't think that the contour side is good. I think it was great that she included a contour side, because I feel like that could be a really good all-in-one palette for someone. However, for me personally, I really only need one contour palette in my life. I have my Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette, and that is legitimately all I need. I might need to replace it when I run out of enough shades in it, but I don't need another contour palette while I'm working with this one. So I would just kind of want the eyeshadow part, and honestly, I still might pick this one up because it is interesting enough to me. You know, I might even give the contour side a try. I have my doubts that it would ever replace my Kat Von D one or anything, just because I don't think most people need multiple contour palettes, especially me, when I'm really happy with what I have. But for me, it's affordable enough. It's not like all of these other palettes where, you know, you would be spending a lot more money for just getting one part of it, that it wouldn't be a good investment. But this one is like a little over $15, that I think that to get a good quality eyeshadow palette, I would not mind spending that money and not entirely using a contour side all the time. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you on my next video. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!